Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another live stream. And for those who are new here, welcome to this channel. And this is yet another live stream on a valuable content and on a special issue. So we know that weeks ago, the United States have imposed stricter rules on immigration. And just within this week, this has become more strict uh, because after the international workers, those policies on immigration by United States, they have released within this week, they have released a new policy this time threatening the international students. So what is basically happening and how will this impact the United States? So let's dive in. So we have heard in different news outlets, say for example, Fox News, with their headline, "Foreign college students must take classes in person or may have to leave the country." That is what the report says. And to be uh, diving into the deeper uh, details on this, it says on its report, the ICES Student and Exchange Visitor Program, ICE stands for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement of the United States, released a statement that said students in the US who are enrolled in schools that plan to operate solely online this fall 2020 must depart the country or take other measures, such as transferring to a school with in person instruction to remain lawful status. If not, they may face immigration consequences, including but not limited to the initiation of removal proceedings. Now, there are also another news outlet that somehow clarified the details on this new policy by ICE, by the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Say, take for example, the New York Times. It says in its report, international students will be required to take at least one in person class to keep their visas at a time when many universities are prioritizing online instruction. Now, this greatly for sure affect international students because currently, because of the pandemic, um, they are greatly affected. And again, because of the pandemic, many of the universities are shifting gear to online platform. Okay, let me just adjust this. Thank you. So, as I was saying, so for sure, this really affects the international students. And I'm kind of discussing this issue because this somehow close to my heart because I myself, I am non-US citizen. I'm currently studying in a US university. So this will greatly affect international students. Now, granting that, I know, and I think we can give the benefit of the doubt to the US government that with this new policy, they are for sure thinking of the welfare of the country because I think, anyway, this is their country. So the question now then is, will this have a negative impact on the US? Okay, the new policy again, given the benefit of the doubt, they are thinking of what is good to their own country. Now, the question, will this have a negative impact on the US? Now, let me share with you an infographic uh, published by NAFSA, a non-profit non-profit organization that caters to or advocates to international students and international education. And according to their infographic, and I hope the details of this infographic will somehow give us an idea how to weigh in on the issue. And again, uh, if you have any information about the explanation of this new policy by the US government of what benefits can it give to the country, please do share it. You can leave a comment below. What could be the advent, advantages of this new policy by the US government? I'm just presenting to you the so far the published information from different organizations that may be a negative impact on the US. So here is one of the sources from NAFSA. So according to this organization, international students grow the US economy. That's a good one, a good contribution by the international students. And they provided us details on their infographics. So it says here, while international students make up only 5.5% of the overall US college enrollments, they make significant contribution in the US communities. And here's why. International students contributed nearly $41 billion in the US economy last year, and we are referring to the year 2019. And international students created or supported over 458,000 US jobs. That's 3 jobs for every 7 international students. Now, I think this breaks the misconception or the myth that international students or even foreign workers are stealing jobs from the Americans. Well, in fact, according to NAFSA, they open up a new enterprise, new industries, and providing more jobs. And according in on the part of the international students, according to NAFSA, every international student actually provide or support 3 jobs uh, for individuals. And nearly 1/4 of the founders of the 1 billion US startup companies first came to the America as international students. So let me just read that again. I got confused myself. So nearly 1/4 of the founders of the $1 billion US startup companies first came to America as international students. So all these are good contributions, great contributions by our international students. And just imagine if I think what is these information or sets of information are telling us that actually it's a good thing welcoming international students to the United States and stopping their entrance here in the United States may have a negative economic repercussion on the country. And NAFSA also provided the following. So international students help America lead in innovation. In fact, for America to remain the leader in scientific discovery, we must continue to attract the best and brightest from around the world. Now, I have a video showing a clip of the argument presented by Dr. Michio Kaku. I hope you can look into that because according to Dr. Michio Kaku, because of the H-1B visa, that's uh, the United States is actually attracting the best and the brightest talents from around the world. And US productivity is generated largely by advances in technological improvements. Technological improvements are largely driven by the rate of innovation. So I hope you can see the connection. International students can provide innovation, and if innovation can drive technological improvements, and technological improvements can open up jobs. So I think you can see the connection that inviting international students to the United States can, in fact, really does create jobs. And in 2016, all 6 American winners of the Nobel Prizes in economics and scientific field were immigrants. and immigrants have been awarded 40% of the Nobel Prizes won by Americans in chemistry, medicine, physics since the year 2000. So I bet that these immigrants used to be international students in the United States. So not only do international students contribute to the US economy, they also contribute to the good reputation of the country. I hope that's clear. So NAFSA provided these sources. They got their information from these sources. If you have skepticism about the information that they have published on their infographic, you can visit these websites. And actually, in support to that, in my one of my grad school courses, I reported a content about a research done by a Chinese professor by the name of Professor Feng Xiaoyan. I hope I pronounced it well. He is from Peking University, and in part of that report, I told uh, the audience in that class that part of the research of this professor, he found out that there is one thing that people are willing to spend despite the economic crisis. And what he found out that during the Asian economic crisis, the Chinese people were willing to pay for education. And the entire world, international students, non-US citizens, are so attracted to the quality, to the reputation, to the prestige of having a US education. Now, if the concern of the US government is economic growth, I think opening or keeping the United States open for international students can still drive the US economy. And because of the results of this research by Professor Yan, that the actual presence of education, quality education, can drive economy, China has improved its educational system. And no wonder many of the Chinese universities, as we speak, are now part of the uh, some of the best universities in the world. So I hope this add to the arguments or add information to our conversation. So for you out there, this is some of the flavors that you can also present in the argument, in the conversation of this new policy by the U.S. government. So what's the update now? So here is a response from a professional organization called uh, AERA, or the American Educational Research Association. And this is the statement by their executive director, Felice Levine, on ICE guidance on international students and university on online only instruction. It was published on the 9th of July this year. So, what did the executive director say in behalf of the organization? So, by the way, the American Educational Research Association is the largest national interdisciplinary research association devoted to the scientific study of education and learning. It was founded in 1916. It advances knowledge about education, encourages scholarly inquiry related to education, and promotes the use of research to improve education and serve the public good. So you can check on more details about AERA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, what did the executive director say on this issue of the new policy of ICE that threatens international students? So, according to the executive director, it says, the statement says, the guidance issued by Immigration and Customs Enforcement on July 6, requiring international college and university students in the United States to leave the country if their instruction provides online only instruction this fall serves absolutely no constructive purpose and is manifestly xenophobic. Wow. It creates enormous logistical problems for students and universities during a highly uncertain and stressful time and places students at higher risk because of the pandemic COVID 19. The statement continues. More than a million international students currently study at US colleges and universities across fields of science and scholarship. They contribute importantly to the richness and productivity of our educational environments. Substantial numbers of international students at the bachelor's, master's, and doctoral levels study and engage in education research. They represent an important portion of the scholars of the future who will examine crucial education issues. From this administration, universities need support, flexibility, and a commitment to ensuring that the United States remains the top higher education destination and a welcoming environment for building scientific capacity in the world, including in education research. It is critical to the future of the United States that it is able to attract and retain the best and the brightest globally. And again, the phrase best and the brightest has been mentioned twice. So the United States is actually doing a very good job at establishing its international reputation, a good one, and it really does attract international students. But with this new policy, I don't know, maybe the international students who are applying or plan to apply to the United States may be disheartened. And in fact, there had been speculations that instead of applying to the United States, some international students maybe would like to apply to its new to the next competitor of the United States, Canada, Australia, and UK. And now Chinese universities are rising stars now, are rising in this occasion, establishing themselves that they do have good reputation as well. So I don't know. So I hope for the best about this new policy. A lot of organizations and individuals have weighed in. I have not seen yet any statement from the US government uh, which try to explain this new policy. But so far, what I have seen are some words and statements and opinions from different organizations saying that this will definitely have a negative impact not only on the international students, but also on the United States, especially on its economy and its reputation. So, what is now? Um, oh, and she closes her statement. We urge the administration, the US government, to reverse the ICE guidance and allow international students with valid visas to remain in the United States as their universities strive to find the best path forward to providing a high quality education while ensuring one university that I know of in order to safeguard the international students, they are doing hybrid. So since the new policy requires that the international students should attend at least one in-person class, so some universities would really make sure and have circulated information and statement to its faculty and departments that provide at least one class that is in person, and maybe the rest will be online. And they are thinking that this actually will pose additional danger to both students and teachers. Because of the time of pandemic, we should be social distancing. And that is why most, if not all universities are planning to have an online educational platform for this coming fall, because the number of positive COVID-19 cases in the United States is not dropping. It's really increasing. In fact, um, I think last week or a few weeks ago, Harvard and MIT have announced that they are really doing online classes. All classes will be online. And speaking of which, I think my next slide is this one. Um, they both schools, Harvard and MIT, file suit. They are suing uh, the ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that would prohibit students in the US from taking an all online course load this fall, because Harvard and MIT have previously announced that they are all of of their classes will be fully online. So that's the latest on foreign policies here in the United States. And I hope you have gained some important information and gained some important flavors in this conversation. And I hope these are important and valuable arguments about the issue. So thank you so much for listening. Again, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And ring the bell so that you won't miss any updates and especially live broadcasting from this channel. Thank you so much. This has been and this is Andy. Until next time. Thank you.